Welcome everyone to Listening to the Wind, the IWSA's weekly interview series. And it's my great pleasure to be sitting here and welcoming Mr. Makoto Yamaguchi, General Manager of the Technical and Offshore Technical Division at Mitsui O.S.K. line. Welcome, Yamaguchi-san.
Hi.
Welcome. So a brief introduction. Yamaguchi-san has worked for MOL for the last 30 years, most recently as project manager and site manager for LNG carrier new building in China, and now is general manager at the head office since 2017. So I think we're in very safe hands to talk about this project. Yamaguchi-san will be discussing or introducing the Windhunter project, which is a really exciting project. And as we see on this slide, part of that zero emissions future. So without further ado, Yamaguchi-san, I'll hand over to you and I'll talk to you in about 10 or 12 minutes time after the presentation.
Yep. Okay. Yami-san, thank you very much. Today I would like to explain about our wind power project called Windhunter. This is our future for the zero emission concept. Okay. Before going to the explanation about the Windhunter project, I'd like to explain briefly about the Wind Challenger project. Because Windhunter project using the Wind Challenger sail, this is a quite a key point. So what is the Wind Challenger sail? As you can see the left-hand side, on the tip of the ship, you can see the sail. This is going up and down, depends on the weather, wind direction, or that's kind of the motion is going to the effective way of the energy saving. So actually we have a contract with the bulk carrier installation of the Wind Challenger sail. So that's I show the detail in the slide. So this ship will be delivered at the end of 2022. Okay, what is the difference between the Windhunter and the Wind Challenger? Okay, Wind Challenger is and the Windhunter both has a rigid sail, as I explained. And drive for the navigation. Yes, Wind Challenger need a very conventional engine because the wind sail is just for energy saving. But Windhunter is different. Windhunter is the ship using the wind sail for the propulsion. But once the wind strength is very low, so we used some other energy resource which was generated by the wind power during the very strong wind. So fuel from shore, because of that function, Windhunter is not necessary to use fuel, but the Wind Challenger need fossil fuel. Fuel consumption, as mentioned, the CO2 emission, of course, the Windhunter, no CO2 emission at all. Wind Challenger, yes. So just explanation about the remarks. Hydrogen generated on board, electric generated by the underwater turbine. Hydride stored on board, fuel cell power generation by hydrogen. That is the Windhunter. So, as I mentioned, we can deliver the Wind Challenger vessel at the end of 2022. But for Windhunter project, is very different. So we have started together with some technical members, companies, or some professors. That is the Windhunter project. We are targeting maybe around 2025. We like to start the real Windhunter ship. Okay, the concept of the Windhunter is not only one, not only just getting the wind power for generating the hydrogen, but also we have, okay, you can see that these pictures, so many wind cell on board. You can get the big wind power for the vessel. This is a very, very huge vessel. We use this cell power, wind power for the commercial vessels. A lot of cells providing the very strong propulsion for the cargo boat. So that is the one of the huge the concept. But before that, we like to realize the Windhunter concept. So that is the Windhunter summary. Okay, it's detail, technical detail. This picture showing the plant summary for the various cargo carriers. The right-hand side, you can see the brown color shade. So that is the cargo. So with cargos, this Windhunter vessel is going navigating on the navigation using the rigid sail. But during the sailing, the ship is generate the hydrogen, and the hydrogen going to the storage in the tank as a MCH state. So then when the ship is going to the very low speed low wind speed area, so we can use that the MCH. The process is the hydrogen, then going to the fuel cell, and then that's going to the electric generator, and then using the rotating the propeller for the propulsion energy. Okay, next one is pure hydrogen carrier, but the hydrogen generator. It's quite similar, but the important point is just making the hydrogen and to make MCH using the turbine and to store this MCH on board. If you need some propulsion, maybe you can use such the MCH for the combustion. It's the same concept as the last slide, but even you can use the other type of the energy. It's a very early stage if you cannot reach the development of the zero emission. So maybe we can use some fossil fuel or the battery or whatever. So you can use it, but important is to generate hydrogen and to use this hydrogen to sending to the shore, and the shore using this hydrogen for the shore energy. So this is a new business model. So this is a ship, but actually we can call this is the different type of the wind turbine or movable wind turbine. That's it. It is the concept of the Windhunter. Okay, our milestone. As of today, we are on the phase 1. We team up the engineers. Together with them, we are doing the engineering, design, and preparation for the experiment ship. And then, so we have already ordered some equipment to be utilized for the first experiment. So in summer times, we can put this equipment on the yacht. We start the experiment. The purpose of the experiment is to generate the hydrogen and to use this hydrogen for the propulsion on the yacht. So generation of the hydrogen is coming from the power, wind power of this sailing yacht. So this cycle is, we like to confirm this cycle, and then we can achieve the target. If we can be success of this target, and we are going to the next phase 2, the larger size of the vessel. This is a steel vessel. We put similar but larger the hydrogen production plant on board. That also put installation of the wind challenger sail on board, and then we can we can build a Windhunter. So that concept will be coming on the 2025. After collecting the many data from these phase 2 vessels, we like to go to the next step. This is very important. We utilize that concept on the commercial vessel. This is the real zero emission commercial cargo carriers. This is the final target of this project. And this 2013 is also coincide with the rule change or environmental rule change from the IMO. So that is very important, the timing. So up to the 2013, yeah, we like to go step by step, but this year, very important start. We already started. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, that is all explanation about our Windhunter project. Yeah, thank you very much.
No, thank you, Yamaguchi-san. It sounds like a really exciting project, as I said. Really, from what I'm taking from this, you're looking at a whole paradigm shift, a movement into a new way of looking at shipping. It's a very ambitious project. What are the main drivers that are pushing this project forward?
Yeah, it's very different aspect we have to say, but I think it's most important driver is timing. Yeah, because now we have a very strong wind for the development of the GHG deduction. So that sentiment is quite pushing us to go ahead about this kind of the product the development. Also, we got the contract about the Wind Challenger. So as Wind Challenger sail is very important, as I mentioned. So we can soon realize this real vessel with the Wind Challenger sail. That is another very important point, because we can collect the many data from the real ship with the Wind Challenger sail. That can be utilized for the Windhunter project. This is another key point. So that is also the timing, because we can do now. So that I can say, because timing is very good. So I think last one is MCH transportation. I think maybe you or the other people knows about the Japanese the project, the MCH project, the generator. The hydrogen they got in the Brunei to make it to the MCH and the transport to the Japanese terminal Kawasaki, and then that's the hydrogen process. Then that's hydrogen going to the power plant. So then after the hydrogen, you will have the toluene, and the toluene again put on board and back to the Brunei. It's a very, 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 it's a circulation, but you can go anywhere where you can get the hydrogen. So then to use that hydrogen without any reduction, because MCH is quite a good way, because very stable. The very ambient temperature, ambient pressure you can store. So that's why I think it's not like a very cryogenic style. So you can store as long as possible. So if you can find a good place and a good distance or very close to your market, so you can very commercialize this kind of project. It's quite similar. I think we like to use the MCH as well, because we like to store the hydrogen on board safely and a relatively long time. So that is why this project, success of this Brunei project, is going to our good the progress for the making a project success.
So again, that timing, the building blocks of fitting in together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Currently the timing is now.
No, I think that's absolutely true, and I think that we're also seeing that the general wind propulsion market is growing quite substantially, again because of that timing. I think a lot of shipping companies like your own are making the decisions today, which are fueling that 2030 compliance issue. So yeah, absolutely. Just to pick up on the toluene and the MCH. I mean, there's a lot of debate in Europe around hydrogen or ammonia, and I think that this is also happening in Japan and Asia. But this ability to store at an ambient temperature with a standard pressure or no additional pressure containment, that really is a major step forward, because this is one of the drawbacks of hydrogen that I hear a lot, is it needs to be stored very cold or under very high pressure. How can I just ask you, how far along are you in the development of that system?
Okay, question is about the MCH or?
Yeah, just very quickly, we're going to side issue on the MCH issue. Yeah, is that available now, or is it still in the development stage?
I think the commercialization is still under development, but actually the technology is there. It's not only inside the university. It's already on shore. I think we can use it, but now only small size of the products is available. So when we go to the larger vessel, we have to find the further development or the further larger size of the products. That is necessary. But as I mentioned, the Brunei project is still, it's really the demonstration stage. But I had maybe within 1 or 2 years, so they will start the commercialization. So I think we watch this project and to find out the further or larger solution to make MCH. So that we like to introduce these kind of the products into our project as well. That is ideal.
Yeah, and this business model that you were talking about, the twin business models that you're looking at, one, and my understanding from your presentation, one is around a cargo moving vessel that is autonomous in its fuel, so it's generating its own fuel. But the other one is actually a power plant, produce or storing wind power into, and I think you called it a turbine, storing the power and then offloading that. I think that this fits very very clearly into the development of decarbonization in shipping, but also changes some of the thinking around that. Is that this has to be a cost to shipping, and yet you're actually creating a business model where you'll actually be generating revenue.
No, I think you know very well.
No, I think it is a fascinating area. I know a number of companies are looking at the self-generation or the autonomous operation.
Yeah.
But this power plant design is a really interesting one. What effect do you think that this idea can have on the shipping as we know it at the moment, commercial shipping as we know it?
Yeah, I think it's maybe still is in my mind or just dream, but I think maybe quite big change for the shipping because as you mentioned, the shipping it's just a fee business. I think we are responsible for the transportation of the cargo. So, but we always have the customers. Yeah, of course, the customer is there, but to generate the hydrogen or energy and to sell it to customers or off-takers. I think it's very different. Other side of view, we can stand on the other side of view, and maybe business model is very different. How we can create very bad word. How we can create the money. It's not like
very bottom line.
Buy our products. Yeah. So that is coming from the wind, very very sustainable and it's very nature of the power. So that is why not we can use it. So just do it. So then because maritime, our vessel is always on the voyage in navigation on the very big ocean. So we can see many places, the big typhoon or hurricane or very continuous wind. So why we don't use it? If the commercial vessel maybe from A to B, so we cannot use it because time schedule is very important. But if we can build a ship, contribute to this kind of generation of the hydrogen, so this ship can navigate to the very light place, windy place, and to generate. So that is quite a very new idea and a very conceptual.
And I think we're definitely seeing a shift, even in the standard shipping market of saying, look, if wind can contribute a significant percentage of our energy, then making some operational changes, maybe speed, maybe power limitation, maybe weather routing, if those changes bring significant savings or help with the bottom line, then that's something we need to be looking at. And that brings me on to probably the last discussion point that I'd like to, which is, we've got quite a few measures that are being proposed at IMO. For example, potential for carbon levies in the future, speed or power reductions, and of course we have the whole EEDI, an upgrade of EEDI, but now EEXI, which I believe was championed by the Japanese flag state, and CII. Of all of those measures, or even non-shipping measures, which one of those do you think will be driving this type of project, where we're looking at truly decarbonized or zero emissions vessels?
I think if it is a general question, so maybe I can answer. Maybe we are doing step by step now to try to reduce from we have a menus. Just energy saving devices for a very good energy consumption the engine installation if we spend a little bit money and to reduce the CO2. That is the action now, but the next step we have to use another energy, more energy engine. So that's, as I explained, it's the same as the other ship owners concern. I think we have to do every day what's good for the energy saving, or finally the 30% or 50% reduction. But still, I think our customer require us to keep the same speed. In that case, how we can do it. So then the idea is going to the maybe it's not going to the reduction of the speed for the energy saving, but we need some other additional value on the vessel. Still on the discussion, maybe we cannot decide one thing, but today Windhunter project introduction, I think the wind is the more, I think in the future, the quite important the power to realize this kind of the target. Because the GHG reduction, I think you can use different type of the renewable energy or the other type of the fuel, but maybe in the process of the production, maybe some energy is necessary. It's not all, but sometimes even necessary. But maybe now you can imagine wind is just there. So I think if you can utilize this kind of the power, so maybe more easy idea, more quick idea to reach, that's the target. So of course the development is not easy. So we try step by step, but in future, I believe this is the best solution for the ship propulsion, or we can generate, if we can generate the hydrogen. So maybe carbon, trade carbon index. So using the index, so maybe I think a ship owner can, if ship owner has this kind of the Windhunter, so maybe we can switch the CO2, the emission, because we generate the hydrogen, so reduce the CO2.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's
yeah. I think just a final point from me. I think that one of the biggest challenges with the rollout of alternative fuels is the need for additional infrastructure. But if you've actually got a piece of floating infrastructure here that's actually generating fuel, then that again, that's an interesting change in the way of looking at how to distribute these fuels and how to get them to maybe to markets that are not as accessible. We've seen this with LNG, took well over 15 years, and then you've worked in the LNG field. The infrastructure has been a major drag on the development of ships. Getting much better now, but so I think that this is certainly people watching this will maybe change their thought process a little bit, start to think outside of the box. So
yeah,
so that's great. I'm going to now. I think we could probably discuss this all day because it's a really fascinating change. But I'm going to move on to a couple of quick fire questions. So, so I'm going to ask you, Yamaguchi-san, to restrict your answers to one sentence. Okay, you can answer a yes or no if you really want to, but I think a sentence would be better. So my first question is, how did MOL get into wind propulsion originally?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll move on.
Wait. Just one sentence is not so easy. Yeah, I think it's not the real beginning, but the important is we could find a good partner, shipbuilding partner. That is the Oshima shipyard in Japan. So without a partner, this type of the project is very difficult to go ahead. But we could find, and they are very cooperative. So we go together. So that is the key turning point. So when the MOL start to think seriously about the wind power. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, it's a quality yard. I've been to the yard once before, and it's a beautiful shipyard. So
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and I understand that they're very good. Okay. So a question about the Windhunter. I noticed it's a multi-hull. Why did you select a multi-hull design as opposed to a monohull?
Yeah, the picture of the multi-hull, it's going to the zero emissions ship. Because of the window sail, maybe two line or the window sail. If you like to maximize the sail area on board, so you can use the two lines of the sail, the maybe around the 10 or 12 or so quite a lot of the sails on board. That is better. But if the right side sail on the left side is too close, so a little bit interfere the wind power. So let's try to apart the both wind in a necessary distance. So for that purpose, I think the idea coming double hull. Sorry, it's not the monohull idea. So
very interesting. I'm sure that a multi-hull of that size will have some engineering challenges of its own that need to be worked on. But I think I think that's another aspect of the ship that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's really concept because the strength of the whole hull structure, or that's not so easy, or how to navigate that's double. That's kind of the vessel. It's still very mature, I think, in the world. So I think it's not so easy. But if you like to focus, on the wind power concept, so maybe that is one of the idea to utilize a wind power at the maximum.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm sure you'll get a few engineers contacting you about that as well. Now I've got a kind of a very interviewee question. What is the most difficult question you've been asked about your project?
Maybe today.
Sorry. Or maybe that's my job.
Yeah, fortunately, I haven't experienced the difficult question because this concepts start released to the public last October. I have several times of the presentation in Japan, or a little bit the wider the wider means the more international side of the presentation, but it's not many questions. It's everyone a little bit surprised about the idea. So I think maybe this year, maybe we have to prepare some good answer to the difficult question. But so far, I don't think we have the difficult question.
So more shock than questions at the moment.
So far, yes.
Okay. Now, this is a question I'm asking everybody in the interviews is around the carbon footprint of the actual systems or the vessel design. Have you calculated the carbon footprint of your system yet?
Actually, not yet. Maybe for the wind challenger, because the ship will be delivered to the 22. So we can show that carbon footprint of the just a sail. We have to. Yeah, so we have a number, but this Windhunter project is more. Finally, we like to generate hydrogen, so that is the maybe minus footprint. So our target is minus footprint. So that's why we still not touch that kind of calculation yet.
Right. Well, I think that's going to be one of the questions in the future. How much that's offsetting, and as you say, if it has a positive effect, what is the payback, if you like, after a few years you're into positive carbon territory. So okay, I'll ask you again next year as the project progresses. Two very quick questions. Are you expanding your wind propulsion team at the moment?
Yes, I think maybe my first the current stage we have enough number to work for this year, but the next stage I think we need more partnership here, partner vendors, partner the level or partner engineers. So then we can realize the larger vessel or more difficult, but they are very effective the vessel. So that is a target. Maybe this year is okay, but the next year we definitely expand the.
Okay, right. Well, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. And my final question is, this is a new ship design. Obviously, you've got the Wind Challenger sail rig, but then you've got the Windhunter new builds. Are you looking at MOL being the main customer for these vessels and systems, or are you looking at expanding that and selling those to a wider market?
Okay. For the Windhunter, it's quite a new building concept. So that is, I think in real story, I think that we should limit this concept to the new building, but I like to increase the number of the customers or number of the operators, because if we can generate the hydrogen, if this ship is realized, I think for the Earth, for the environment, I think we have this kind of ship as many as possible. So from that point of view, we can expand the number of the vessel. For Wind Challenger sail, I think the retrofitting is the kind of the business in the future, but it's some strengthen the structure. It's not so small so far, because now the first trial, so first project. So we have to study more and more and to reduce that or more effective way of design is necessary. But so far it's quite complicated and some more strength is necessary. So we choose a new building, but the concept is fit for the retrofitting as well. So that is the expansion of the business model. It is in the future.
Yeah, and I remember visiting the test rig down in Nagasaki, and it's a very robust system. Very robust system. So,
yes.
Yeah, so a little bit, more. It'll be optimized going forward, but retrofits.
Yep.
That's really good. Well, Yamaguchi-san, we've almost come to the end of our time, and I'd just like to give you an opportunity, a 1 or 2 minute sort of summary statement from you before we conclude. So, handing over to you, what would you like to conclude for our audience?
Yep. Thank you very much, Kevin-san. Okay, may I start?
Yes, please do. Please do.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity to present our concept. I think someone think it's really the just a dream or a bit shock about it, but we believe, at least myself believes this realized, and also our dream is not only our company. Our dream is to build the more and more vessel, Windhunter, and to generate the hydrogen everywhere in the world, and utilize this kind of energy effectively to every site. So that is the quite good future for the energy saving and the environmental friendly. This is my dream, and this can be our big target. So that's why please believe the Windhunter. So we try best to realize this kind of concept. Please watch it. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. And as the famous Japanese band is called, dream come true. So
Yes.
yeah, I don't see this as a dream. I see it as a vision. And I know me for one, I will be following this very carefully, very closely, and I'm sure members of the audience will as well. So thank you very much, Yamaguchi-san, for joining us. And thank you to everybody watching, listening to The Wind. We will have another weekly interview next week. But if you do have any questions about the Windhunter, then I'm sure Yamaguchi-san will be more than happy to answer those. And of course, if you have other questions about wind propulsion in general, either Yamaguchi-san or myself will be happy to answer those. So,
okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Fair winds to everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much.